All right, question number 5 says the cumulative frequency distribution of the volume of petrol needed to fill the tanks of 150 different vehicles is shown below. So this is the sort of like a cumulative frequency table. Now for the class 21 to 30, we're to determine the lower class boundary. 21 to 30, normally persons would say to get the lower class boundary, you simply just take away 0.5 from the lower limit. So 21 is the lower limit, 30 is the upper limit. You could have just taken away 0.5, or you could do this. You could say the lower class limit, you just add the 20 plus 21 and divide by 2. You didn't have to, you could have just taken away 0.5 from 21. So this is 41 over 2. This is 20.5. So the lower class limit for the class 21 to 30 is 20.5. Next, we're asked for the class width, and these are things that you have to remember, that the class width is equal to the upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary. Right, so this should have been, actually should have been lower class limit. Sorry, lower class boundary. Lower class boundary. So the upper class boundary would be 30.5 minus the lower class boundary, which is 20.5. So the class width would be, let's see what are the units. The class width would be 10 meters. All right, so the class width is the upper class boundary minus the lower class boundary. Let's go back and see if we miss anything on the bottom. No. All right, it says how many vehicles were recorded in the class 31 to 40. So vehicles here is represented by the frequency. So it might be a good idea to put in a column for frequency. So remember, you get cumulative frequency by adding the frequency. So at this level, the frequency is 24. So at the level 21 to 30, you're going to add 24 to the frequency from this level. So it's 24 plus the frequency from this level. That would give you what? 59. So to get the frequency from this level, you simply take away 24 from 59. So that would be 35. All right, to get the frequency at the next level, you take away 59 from 105. The frequency here is 42. The frequency here would be 29, 28, and the frequency at the last level would be 21. Now, frequency represents the number of vehicles. Now, the question is being asked, how many vehicles were recorded in the class 31 to 40? So 31 to 40, the answer is 42. All right, but if you want, you could say number of vehicles, which is actually the frequency, would be equal to 101. Is it 101? Yep, minus 59, minus 59. And the answer is 42. So how many vehicles were recorded in the class 31 to 40? It's a total of 41 vehicles. Next, a vehicle is chosen at random from the 150 vehicles. What is the probability that the volume of petrol needed to fill its tank is more than 50.5 liters? Leave your answer as a fraction. All right, so What is the probability that the volume of petrol needed to fill its tank is more than 50.5 liters? So let's go back and see how many vehicles need more than 50.5 liters. So the number of vehicles that need more than 50.5 liters to fill the tank is 21. 21 vehicles. So the probability that the volume is greater than or equal to 50.5 liters is equal to the number of vehicles 21 over the total number of vehicles 150. I guess you could simplify it if you want, as long as you leave your answer as a fraction. This would be 7 over 50. You're told by the examiner to leave your answer as a fraction. Now it says that Byron estimates that the median amount of petrol to be, Byron estimates the median amount of petrol to be 43.5 liters. Explain why Byron's estimate is incorrect. All right, for group data, the median Q2 is the N over 2 value. Now, this doesn't tell you what the median is. It basically tells you where the median is. All right, there are 150 vehicles, so N over 2, it's equal to 150. Divide by 2, this is 75, the 75th vehicle. So the amount of petrol needed by the 75th vehicle is the median. So let's use the cumulative frequency to determine where the 75th vehicle, which class it fall in. Now, vehicle number 1 to vehicle 24 needs 11 to 20 liters. Now, vehicle number 25, the 25th vehicle to vehicle 59 needs 21 to 30 liters. The 60th vehicle, now the 60th vehicle to vehicle number 101 needs 31 to 40 liters. Remember, the median is the amount of petrol that vehicle number 75 needs. Now, vehicle number 60 to vehicle number 101 needs 31 to 40 liters. So vehicle number 75 is within that range. So vehicle number 75 would need between 31 and 40 liters. So the median, which is the amount of petrol that vehicle number 75 needs, would be between 31 and 40 liters. Now, Byron says that Byron estimates that the median is 43.5 liters. Explain why Byron's estimate is incorrect. All right, so the median is the median is the amount of petrol needed by vehicle number 75 or by the 75th vehicle, which is 31 to 40 liters. Therefore, Byron's estimate of 43.5 liters is not correct. All right, for 1 mark, I guess that would be okay. All right, so next we're asked to, on the partially labeled grid below, construct a histogram to represent the distribution of the volume of petrol needed to fill the tank of the 150 vehicles. So we need a histogram. We need to draw a histogram. Now, these are things that you must know to draw long before to the exam. It's not something you can go into the exam to figure out. All right, now to draw this, we're going to need the upper class boundary. All right. We're going to need the upper class boundary. All right, did he tell us what scale to use? I don't see anybody telling me what scale to use. All right. All right, so at the bottom here, all right, at the bottom here, the scale, I'm going to use a scale. The bottom, it must go out as far as 60. So I'm going to use a scale of 2 centimeters to 10 units. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right, so obviously if I'd use a different scale, it wouldn't work. My scale is 2 centimeters to 10 units. And down here, I have the upper class boundary, which is volume of petrol. Now, the upper class boundary, the first upper class boundary is 20.5, and that corresponds to a frequency of 24. So 20.5. At the bottom, each of these minor divisions is 1 unit. All right. So 0.5 would be between. So 20.5 corresponds to 24. That would be there. The next one is 30.5 corresponds to 35. 30.5 corresponds to 35. So it's important that we had put in the frequency. That would be here. The upper class boundary. So 2 things we're plotting for the histogram. We're plotting the upper class boundary and the frequency. The upper class boundary is the x coordinate, the frequency is the y coordinate. Then we have 40.5, which corresponds to what looks like 42. 40.5 corresponds to 42. That will put me here. 50.5 corresponds to 28. That would put me here. And 60.5 corresponds to, all right, this looks like 14. I made a mistake somewhere, because I don't remember seeing a 14. All right, so 2 things. No, it's not 14. It should be 21. It's 21. 21 is correct. So that should not be 14, it should be 21. All right, so 60.5 corresponds to 21, which would put me about here. So let's draw our histogram. Remember, you need to use your ruler and draw straight lines. The technology allows me to draw straight lines without a ruler. So that's the first part. Come across. All right. So I'm drawing my bars starting over the right-hand side, and I'm drawing a histogram. Please note that my lines are between, they're not exactly on one of the grid lines, it's between. Patiently and carefully draw your histogram. All right, so you must know what a histogram looks like. You must know how to draw the histogram, what values are needed to draw your histogram. All of this must be known before going into the exam. It's not something you can go into the exam to figure out. And we're drawing our histogram. Takes time. And when you do it in the exam, it will also take time. All right, so carefully. And be careful to draw that last bar. So there's one more bar. That starts at 10.5. And this would be your histogram. All right, what you have to remember to draw this, you have to remember that for your histogram, you need to use your upper class boundary and the frequency. You had to come up with your own scale at the bottom. The examiner didn't give you a scale at the bottom. You had to come up with your own scale. And what I had to bear in mind is that it had to go to 60. So I use a scale of 2 centimeters to 10 liters. All right, that's it.